She had nothing left but her body. Then a human did something no one expected. The rain on Trivane Prime fell like molten glass, thin, sharp, and stinging on the skin. Leora barely noticed it anymore. Hunger had long replaced pain as her constant companion. Her world had been reduced to two things: her body and her will to survive. Once, she had been heir to the Emerald Citadel of Vaeth. That was before the wars, before the human fleets descended, before her people sold each other out for scraps of safety. She had escaped the slavers twice, but each escape came at a cost. First her home, then her family, then even her voice, hoarse from bargaining with those who cared only for flesh. Now, under the shadow of neon trade banners, she stood in the Red Exchange District, a place where desperate souls were currency. Her last hope had been to trade her body for a few credits, enough to buy a shuttle ticket to somewhere the war hadn't burned. That's when she saw him. He was tall for a human, armored in worn combat gear, a deep scar running from temple to jaw. His gaze swept the market with the detached caution of a man who'd seen too much war to trust a peaceful street. Leora stepped forward before her courage could falter. "Human," she rasped, forcing herself to meet his eyes. "I have only myself to offer. Food, passage, anything you want. Just help me leave this place." She braced herself for the smirk, the cruel bargain, the look that measured her like meat. Instead, his brow furrowed. "What's your name?" he asked. The question caught her off guard. "Leora," she said, wary. "Not your trade, not your offer. Your name," he clarified, voice low but firm. She almost laughed at the absurdity. "Names don't matter here. They do to me." He didn't reach for her, didn't pull out credits. Instead, he took off his cloak and wrapped it around her shoulders. The thick, weather-worn fabric was warm against her chilled skin. "You're not for sale," he said, scanning the crowded stalls. "Come with me." She froze. "I told you, I have nothing else to give." "Then give me nothing," he replied. "You need food, shelter, safety. I can give you those. That's the end of it." It didn't make sense. No one gave without taking here. But his tone wasn't pitying. It was matter-of-fact, like he'd already decided her fate. Leora followed him through the market's narrow alleys, the smells of oil and spice fading as they moved into quieter streets. He led her to a modest quarters above a repair shop. The space was Spartan, one cot, a workbench, a shelf of old hollow recordings. He handed her a steaming bowl of broth. She ate without speaking, savoring the warmth spreading through her belly. Only after the bowl was empty did she look up. "Why?" she asked simply. "Because someone once found me in a place like that," he said. "And they didn't take what I thought I owed. They just gave me a chance to start over. I've been trying to pass that forward ever since." She searched his face for deceit, but found only quiet resolve. Days turned into weeks. He never touched her without asking, never hinted at claiming her in return for his kindness. He taught her to repair shuttle wiring, to read human star charts, to spot counterfeit trade seals. She began to feel the weight of her body not as a burden, but as a vessel for something more: skills, choices, dignity. One evening, while repairing a damaged guidance panel, she asked, "What's your name?" "Kale," he said with a faint smile. "Figured you'd ask eventually." She tested the name in her mouth, as if saying confirmed the reality of him. Then, the day came when he placed a small data chip in her hand. "Shuttle past the Vela station. From there, you can go anywhere. New start." Leora's fingers tightened around it. "And you?" "I'll be here. There'll be someone else who needs the same thing you did." It struck her then. He wasn't rescuing her out of charity. This was his mission, his way of undoing the wrongs of a galaxy that consumed the desperate. She shook her head slowly. "Kale, I want to stay." He raised an eyebrow. You don't owe me anything. I know, she said. That's why I choose to. Not because I have nothing else, but because now I do. They worked side by side from then on, not as rescuer and rescued, but as partners building something small, but uncorrupted in a world still bleeding from war. The Red Exchange was still out there, swallowing the hopeless. But here, in this cramped repair shop above the neon streets, hope had quietly taken root, and all because, when she had nothing left but her body, a human had given her something no one else ever had, her humanity back.